Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Rizal. We are from Group 10. So we present about the project design and cost estimation on infrastructure work. So this is our team member, Fitra Nuraila, Muhammad Syahmi Aiman, Muhammad Syahir Azim, Sharon Marwan, and lastly Siti Nur Afika binti Kaharudin. Our project focus on design and cost estimation of internal infrastructure work for proposed faculty building within a public university campus in Gambang, Pahang. The proposed development include an internal access road connecting the faculty building to the existing main road. It also provide parking space for staff, car, motorcycle and accessible user. In addition, the project include a surface water drainage system that direct stormwater runoff toward a dentation pond. The main design component consists of the roadwork, pavement construction, drainage facility, and site circulation. This project also covered the taking of process, preparation of the bill of quantity, and estimation of the overall infrastructure cost. This project has six main objectives. The first objective is to prepare a safe and practical site arrangement for the faculty building and its support facility. The second objective is to develop an effective road circulation system connecting the main road, internal road and parking area. The third objective is propose a durable flexible pavement structure with a total thickness of 900 millimeters. The fourth objective is to design and appreciate drainage arrangement using U-drain, reinforced concrete pipe, catch basin and manhole. The fifth objective is to measure a price of proposed work through taking of quantification, preparing of the bill of quantity and cost estimation. The final objective is to plan the project delivery requirement including labor, plant, project duration, quality, safety and environment control. Overall, the expected outcome is coordinate infrastructure package that can be measured, priced and construct safely. For the pavement design, a 900 millimeter pavement flexible pavement structure is proposed. It consists of a 400 millimeter AC W14 wearing course, a 16 millimeter ACB 28 binder course, a 200 millimeters crusher run base, a 300 millimeter granular subbase and a 300 millimeter compact subgrade. The drainage system consists of reinforced concrete U-drain, reinforced concrete pipe and sandy bedding, manhole, catch basin, and the denation pond outlet. An effective construction period of 9 weeks is consumed. However, the actually duration may be affected by approval, weather, ground condition and material availability. For measurement purpose, the written dimensions shown in the drawing and the quantity of the BQ are treated as a domain controlling information. The reference standard include JKR, Road Work Inspection, MSA, MSMA, MASMA, Stormwater Package Principle, OSHA 1994, Requirement and CIDB Workmanship Control Practice. However, uh, several, mat- several matter must still be confirmed before construction, including the final site survey, subgrade CBR value, hydraulic calculation, and underground utility location.
This drawing presents the overall site layout of the proposed faculty development. The site consists of the faculty building, parking facilities, motorcycle parking, OKU parking, and internal road and a main road connection, landscape area, and a detention pond. The faculty building was positioned to provide convenience access from the main road while maintaining the efficient traffic circulation and adequate parking capacity. The detention pond was strategically located beside the internal road to collect stormwater runoff from the entire site. This layout was designed to ensure functionality, accessibility, and effective stormwater management while providing a comfortable environment for building users. This drawing presents the proposed road layout for the faculty development. The main road consists of two traffic lanes with a total width of 7 meters, while the internal road provides direct connectivity between the building entrance and parking facilities. Better traffic islands were introduced to regulate vehicle movement and improve traffic safety. The layout was designed to minimize traffic conflict points, provide efficient circulations, and ensure convenience access for staff, students, visitors, and emergency vehicles throughout the development. This sheet presents the road cross-section and pavement structure detail for the proposed development. Three cross-sections, namely section AA, section BB, and section CC, were developed to illustrate the road configurations and at different locations within the site. The cross-section show the arrangement of traffic lane, road shoulder, parking area, landscape island, and surrounding site feature, providing a clear representation of the road geometry and available space allocations. The pavement structure was designed as a flexible pavement system consisting of a 4 mm ACW14 whirling course, a 60 mm ACB28 binder course, a 200 mm crusher run base, a 300 mm granular subbase, and a 300 mm compact subgrade. This provides a total pavement thickness of 900 mm. The selected pavement layers are intended to provide adequate strength, load distribution, durability, and long-term performance for the expected traffic load within the faculty development. This drawing illustrates the proposed stormwater drainage system for the faculty development. The drainage system begins with a 600 mm by 600 mm reinforced concrete U-drain installed around the perimeter of the faculty building. The U-drain function as the primary collection channel for the surface runoff generated from the building roof and surrounding paved area. The collected runoff is then directed toward the three catch basins, namely CB1, CB2, and CB3. The catch basin act as collection point where stormwater enter the underground drainage system while helping to trap debris and sediment before the water enter the pipe network. From the catch basin, stormwater flow through reinforced concrete pipe with diameter of 450 mm and 600 mm. These pipes are connected through a series of junction manhole, including both of 1200 mm by 1200 mm manhole and 1500 mm by 1500 mm manhole. The manhole provide access for inspection, maintenance, and change in flow direction within the drainage network. The pipe system was designed with gradients range from 1 in 200 to 1 in 500 to ensure continuous water flow throughout the site. Finally, all stormwater is conveyed to the detention point, which serve as the final storage and control facility before discharge. The detention pond help reduce peak runoff, minimize the risk of flooding, and improve overall stormwater management performance within the development. This drawing provides the detailed construction component for the drainage system present in the drainage plan. The pipe trench section illustrates how the 450 mm and 600 mm reinforced concrete pipe are installed beneath the roads, including the pavement structure, compacted backfill, sandbedding, and existing ground condition. This detail ensure proper support and protection of the underground pipe network. In addition, the drawing includes typical junction manhole details used throughout the drainage system. The manhole function as access point for inspection and maintenance while also facilitating change in flow direction and pipe connection. Different manhole flow configurations are provided to accommodate the various pipe arrangements shown in the drainage plan. The catch basin detail illustrates the structure used to collect surface runoff before it enters the underground pipe system. Meanwhile, the U-drain detail represents the drainage channel installed around the faculty building, which serve as the initial collection system for the stormwater runoff. Together, this detail demonstrates how stormwater is collected, conveyed, inspected, and ultimately discharged to the detention point as shown in the drainage plan.
For BQ, the BQ is preparing to estimate the quantities and cost of construction work. It helps in budget, tender pricing, and cost control throughout the project. The project is divided into three main work sections. full site clearance and roadwork, and surface water drainage. Based on the B2, the total estimated project cost is 175,336 ringgit and 40 cents. For site clearance and roadwork, the total cost is 30,324 ringgit. This includes site clearance, topsoil, stripping, excavation, backfill, compaction, and disposal of surplus material. For the roadwork, the total cost is 39,502 ringgit 40 cents, which covers subgrade preparation, pavement layer, road shoulder, and road marking. The highest cost component is surface water drainage with total cost of 17,000. The highest cost component is surface water drainage with total cost of 17,500 and 10 ringgit. This section include RC drain, RC pipe, culvert, and catch basin and manhole.
First, site clearance is carried out to remove vegetation and obstacle before any construction begins. So next is earthworks, where excavation, filling and compaction prepare a stable foundation for the road. Next, the road pavement is then constructed using several layers to support vehicle loads and provide durable driving surface. And finally, the drainage system ensures rainwater is collected and discharged efficiently, protecting both road and surrounding areas. So for the function of the drainage component, the RCU drain collects runoff from the roadside. The culverts carry water beneath the road crossing. Catch basin collect surface water while trapping debris. Manholes allow maintenance personnel to inspect and clean the underground drainage network. Why is drainage the most expensive? Why are pavement layers expensive? So, the drainage system contributes the highest cost because it involves reinforced concrete structure, excavation, pipe installation, and multiple drainage components such as culvert, catch basin, and manholes. So for the road pavement, it's also costly because it consists of several structural layers and requires expensive asphalt material together with heavy construction equipment. So for the overall importance, which is important of road and drainage to project performance, which is both road and drainage system work together to ensure the project success. A well-designed provides safe and comfortable transportation, while an effective drainage system prevent water damage and flooding. So together, they improve infrastructure durability, reduce maintenance costs, and ensure the project perform efficiently throughout its design life.
Today I'm going to walk to you our optimized NICE week master construction schedule for the infrastructure work of our 8-story academic project. As you can see from our Gantt chart, our timeline is strategically broken down into 3 critical interlocking phase. We kick it off immediately in week 1 in phase 1, site clearing and earthwork, scheduled for a total duration 3 weeks. Week 1 is fully dedicated to clearing the site of grass, vegetation, scrub and debris to create a completely clean working boundary. Moving into week 2, we begin stripping the topsoil to a depth of 150 mm while simultaneously initiating heavy excavation in earth for our road formation. By week 3, as a worn out, we transition directly into backfilling, completing the road pavement formation level. and disposing of all surface excavated material off site to the ensure high safety standard and cultural footprint. Next, we talk about our most sequence sensitive phase. Phase 2, surface water drainage system. They spend 5 weeks starting from week 3 and running right to week 7. Now, why we do start the drainage system in week 3, overlapping with the end of work? From the engineering standpoint, this is crucial. We must establish our water runoff pathway and structure trench before we lay any pavement, cause to avoid structure without any end flooding. In week 3 to 5, we execute the construction of the primary perimeter RCU 600 times 600 mm. Right on its heel in week 4, we begin preparing the 100 mm sand bedding and lay our reinforced concrete pipe cover. Utilizing both the 450 mm and 600 mm diameter line. To finalize the network structure continuously, week 5 to 7 focus on vertical concrete work. It involves construction our patch basin complete with steel grating alongside our major junction manhole. We successfully ties the campus runoff system together. Once our drainage backbone is stabilized, we move into the final horizontal phase in which is phase 3 road work and pavement layer, spanning in 4 weeks. We put our flexible pavement structure from the ground up in phase 6. We prepare and compact the subgrade layer and immediately lay our thin 300 mm granular base, in which even we stamp up the structures running by laying the 200 mm crusher run base course. Week 8 is our critical top paving week. We execute a fast, high performance continuously paving operation, laying 60 mm alpha thick concrete bender course AC28, followed immediately by the final 40 mm concrete bearing course ACW14. Finally, week 9 is all about road furniture, safety and head work. We construct the standard road shoulder, apply height visibility, topography, road and light marking, and paint our dedicated standard and OKU parking be right outside the main faculty building entrance. This can chart demonstrate a high efficient logic construction flow by carefully managing the overlap between a work and drainage and waiting for drainage complete before sealing our road surface. We compress our timeline into tight, predictable and high sustainable 9-week turnout.
The infrastructure work must be constructed with proper quality control, safe working practice and effective environmental protection because the project is located within an active university campus. For quality control, the project should be include inspection and test plan, material approval, field density test, asphalt temperature check and complete as-built record. These controls are important to ensure that the pavement drainage system and other infrastructure component completely with the approval drawing and specification. For safety, worker and construction plan must be properly separate. Open tanks must be protected and the train basement should control reversing vehicle and lifting activity. Worker must also use suitable personal protective equipment and participate in toolbox meeting. Emergency procedure should be prepared before construction begin. For environmental management, seed control measures should be installed to prevent soil from entering the drainage system and detention pond. Dust should be controlled through water spraying, while concrete washout, fuel, and oil must be properly contained. Spill kits and approval waste disposal method should also be provided. The overall quality, safety, and environmental goal is to the protect performance, protect worker and campus user, and prevent construction runoff from polluting the drainage system.